Hey guys, Hardware Hound here, and welcome back to News Hound. You know, my once Monday gonna dedicate to highlighting some news stories. So last week a couple of kind of interesting things happened, nothing really fancy. There was some leaks about AMD performance and stuff, but there's nothing that I'm seeing that's really blowing my mind yet. So I'm gonna hold off on any Zen Plus leaks, because I want to see some more testing from an X470 chipset standpoint. I want to see some more overclocking results that actually use some high-end cooling, not just the Wraith cooler. Wraith cooler is great, but you can get way more cooling performance out of other ones. Instead, let's talk about a story that's actually been around for a while, but I really wanted to highlight this case a long time ago. So FSP is a company that's usually known for their power supplies, but they recently released cases, and they have the CMT520 that I got to review. I really love that case. Yeah, just a simple, generic, basic entry-level case, but the design in the building was just so perfect. I could not believe how easy I had built in a case that was less than $70. Like that never happens. Well, they've recently released a newer version, upgraded, bigger size, CMT520. The only problem I have is their advertising. They're showing pictures of full color waves on their pictures with the fans, and it kind of gives you this impression that you're like, oh cool, I can do rainbow effects and make my computer look really like a disco ball. Guilty. But I like disco balls. But that's actually not the case with the CMT520. It's actually just 4-pin 12-volt type LEDs, and they can only do one color at a time. So you're not going to have a singularly addressable RGB LED lighting in that. So I really want FSP to kind of, and companies in general, that they don't have that addressable to kind of change their advertising. But I really think that this is going to be a great case. It looks like it's got a ton of room. And if their design is as well thought out and meticulously put together as the last time, then it's going to be a great case to build in. It may not be quite as high quality as some other cases, but it's just a little tiny bit above $100. And when you look at other cases that are comparable, you're looking at $150 to $200 easily. So I think this CMT520 is definitely a case worth checking out, something you might be interested in buying. Now, let's move over to the next guy. Let's move over to some news there for us custom cooling people. And by us, I mean I'm still working my way up there, but some of you might have more loops. Thermaltake released a new series of radiators, the CL series. See, I'm keeping my cheat sheet behind me just in case. So mainly a radiator is a radiator is a radiator. One thing is that these radiators are ultra thick. I mean, the thickness of one of these radiators might be thicker, is thicker than a lot of like closed loop coolers that are the radiator and fans combined. So there's going to be a lot of cooling performance. We've got triple channels, horizontal channels going through that the fins can attach to really help distribute that heat evenly throughout the whole radiator. A lot of stuff though is kind of like, yeah, duh, of course. If we're gonna have a good radiator, you got to do these things. But something that Thermaltake is doing that I really appreciated is they're doing something that was called, give me a second, reflow method. They're using a soldering technique called a reflow, and so what it does is it creates an entirely solid line of solder that the fins are put into so that it creates an even contact between every fin, so you don't have situations where there's too much solder or not enough. And if a crack does happen through heat expansion, it's likely to not affect much else of the heat transfer through the rest of it, because there's plenty of points of contact between the fins and the solder. So I like that about their radiators. Thought that was pretty cool. You might want to check those out if you're looking for a radiator upgrade. And finally, yeah, we're going to talk about some RGB, because you know me, I'm 5 at heart, and I just love crazy amounts of lights. iBuyPower has got RGB cable combs. That's like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. RGB cable combs. You know, I don't even have to really explain it. You've got the video right here, so you're seeing the loop. Just lots of lights, lots of color. It's pretty cool. For those of you who really want to go over the top, this is taking what might be considered the most boring part of a custom build and making it sparkle. So I think that's cool. Is it too much RGB? I don't think quite yet, but darn if we're not getting really close. Some of you probably like, oh heck yeah, that's too much RGB. So there you go, guys. Those are the news highlights that I wanted to point out to you. Hope you enjoy these, and you know, as usual, like and subscribe if you want to. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. I'll catch you next Monday. Then you'll probably find that case to be really great. So let's click over here. Nope, I'm gonna redo this whole thing and we're gonna just change this up.